All righty.
What's happening? What's happening?
How we darn? How we darn? How we darn?
Mute the thing.
Something a little bit different today, y'all. Wanted to try something a little bit different. Haven't done a Q&A on this stream, on this channel, actually ever. So if you have a question, drop it in the chat. As you can see, we have our live subscriber count. And I just wanted that up there cool. Because if we hit 2K on stream, I want to be able to see that with you guys. I think that would be really cool. And we're really close. We're literally, 24 subscribers away.
That is crazy, babe. 24 subscribers away to 2,000.
Pretty cool.
She's pumped.
If you guys have yet to drop a like, show us some love. If you can hit that like button. Looks like we do have quite a few people already dropping a like. But if you click the like, that's going to help more people find us in the old algorithm. And then the old algorithm's potentially going to bring people who might like the channel and subscribe. So
that's right.
It's all part of that world. But all right, Nelly. I really wish I had that software where I could click on someone's question. How did I do that last time?
I can probably look it up, but I need to turn off my camera 1 second. Because I need to open Streamlabs. Because I think we had it in the other in our other, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Well, actually, that doesn't.
I don't think. No, you didn't have it where you can actually click on someone's question. Anyway, we're gonna do our best. Come back to me, Badake.
I'm here.
All right. So Nelly's first question is, what do you think about this trade I made in a 12-team Superflex league? I traded Allen Robinson for a 23 first. Then I traded that 23 first and Chris Olave for Stephon Diggs and Christian Watson. Right. So
I guess
if you're a win now team, I think going from Allen Robinson to Diggs and Watson is a pretty good move. I'm a big fan of Olave, which is what makes me a little skeptical.
Yeah, I think it really depends on you building your team. My first initial thoughts when I read that was, I love that you traded Allen Robinson for the 23 second and then traded
23
that
first. 23
first, excuse me, and then traded that 23 first and Chris Olave. And I think I would have been happy there,
Right.
Like,
so just keep the 23 first and Olave.
And Olave, because you move from Stephon Diggs. And
the issue is, I don't think we're actually reading it right, bro. So, Allen Robinson for a 23 first. That's the trade. He already had Olave on his team. Then he traded the 23 first and Olave for Diggs and Watson.
Right. So I'm saying, like, I would have, if anything, then I would have just kept the 23 first.
Okay.
Or I just would have kept it,
Yeah.
because I believe in Chris. The way I see it, you do upgrade from Stephon Diggs. But then you downgrade, in my opinion, from Chris Olave to Christian Watson. So that's really the thought process.
Sure.
In my opinion.
I think it's a relatively even trade. I might prefer the Diggs side if I'm competing. If I'm not competing, then the 23 first and Olave side. What's up, J-Rock? Billy says, who's your comeback player this year on offense and who has their coming out year? Well, we've made videos on breakouts. I think two of my biggest breakouts this year would be Travis Etienne and Trey Lance. I think as of right now, if I had to tag my name to two players, it would be Etienne and Trey Lance at this point. I talked about Travis Etienne's college profile. I talked about how go try and find me a starting running back in the NFL right now who had a better season as far as reception work goes in his senior season or his last season in the college football. That sounds so stupid to say, but you know what I'm trying to say. Trey Lance, I've talked about that in depth in multiple different videos. So who would you say is your breakout, so Badake?
Obviously, if you watched our breakout video on the other channel, I did say Zach Wilson. I like what the Jets are doing there with him. I believe in that team. I love Elijah Moore. I said he was going to be a breakout last year, and I still believe he can break out even this year. What they did with Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall over there with the Jets, I think is fantastic. If there was somebody else I can really think of, maybe I'm biased, make Kadarius Toney. I think that's a really good chance for a breakout. Obviously, they really are going to unleash Daniel Jones, and at least that's the hope and the expectation. And another guy will probably just have to be Cole Kmet, to be completely
I
honest,
like the
tied
Cole
in for
Kmet
the
one.
Bears. He's really the only other target on that team. It feels like outside of Darnell Mooney, obviously they drafted Velus Jones, the 25-year-old rookie, but Cole Kmet, he was a guy that you saw throughout the year. He led the team on snap percentages, and I think that's going to continue into this year and get more targets, especially with more consistency with Justin Fields and this Bears team. So I'm excited for that one.
Let's see, what did Cole do last year? How many targets did my guy get last year? Did Cole get 93 targets? No, that's his career. I was about to say, there's no way. Okay, so he had 60 targets last year in 17 games. So just for some quick math sake, I don't think people can see my calculator, but so he had 60, that's 60 receptions. He did have 93 targets. Did he actually have 93 targets last year?
21, yeah, 93 targets,
Okay.
612 receptions. So, I mean...
So he averaged 5.4 targets per game. Yeah, I mean, it's not crazy to say that he could average around 6.5 to 7.
Yeah, once again, who else is competing there? I don't see anyone else competing outside of Darnell Mooney. I don't think Byron Pringle is really going to be a massive threat. I think he's more of a field stretcher, a guy that can kind of streak down the field rather than Cole Kmet. He's going to be more the safety blanket, in my opinion, a guy in the middle of the field, maybe a guy that's going to be used in the red zone a lot as well because of his size. So yeah, I really like
the other question that he had was, who do we think could be a comeback player of the year? And for me, I think J.K. Dobbins, Travis Etienne fit that. I already said Etienne as a breakout, but I think J.K. Dobbins is definitely in that category as well. So he would be someone that really, really intrigues me as far as like a comeback player. I think he's going to get a ton of work in that offense, and there's not really a running back in that offense that's anywhere near as talented as J.K. Dobbins. I think he's going to absolutely dominate this year, really establish himself as a true RB1, or RB, at least top 20 RB at minimum.
Yeah, I hear you. I definitely like JK, guy I definitely believe in. I mean, if there was a running back, I can definitely say at the bat, maybe it's not really a comeback because he did come back in the same year. It's technically Cam Akers.
Okay.
Obviously, I love what the Rams are doing there. They're going to keep, obviously, Aaron Donald, even though that's not really affects him. But another year in this offense with Matthew Stafford, they're going to switch it up. Obviously, Cooper Kupp is not going to be as efficient as he was last year. Maybe they need to get the run game going. We saw how Darrell Henderson was a top 10 running back, and he was using the red zone that past year. So I like Cam Akers moving forward as a comeback guy moving into this year. Obviously, he has to go through the hurdle of that Achilles tear, but I think we saw glimpses of the right path.
Yeah,
in my opinion. So
sure. So we look at JK's season in 2020. Man, around week 11, really after the bye week, he starts to get at least 50% of the snap shares every week.
Yeah.
And then you can see how consistent those points were, just how good he was as well as far as like yards per carry. Cincinnati, he went crazy. Anyway, I'm really excited for JK. Next question we had from CB75. He says, Lance, Stafford, or Hurts as a super flex option in startup Dynasty. Josh Allen was my first pick along with Mark Andrews. I mean, if you can choose from any one of those, I would do Lance. I have Lance as my quarterback 7 in Dynasty formats. Then I would choose Stafford, and then I would choose Hurts. But I don't know if Badake sees that differently.
I would do Stafford, Hurts, Lance. I'm a Hurts believer, but according to my rankings, I have Matthew Stafford, Jalen Hurts, and then Trey Lance.
Okay. All right, so next question. Gator says, two-parter. How many rookies is too many to draft and redraft? And also, what would you say are your top 5 rookies that you would be comfortable drafting in that format? I don't think I can I don't know how to answer the first part of it, like how many is too much. Because I guess it depends on, the better question is like ADP versus value on the board.
Yeah, exactly.
But I would say, you know, guys that I'm comfortable with as rookies, Brees Hall, Ken Walker to an extent, James Cook as like my RB4. Wide receivers wise, Burks, London, I'm comfortable with. Olave as like my wide receiver 4. Sky as my wide receiver 4. Guys like Christian Watson and Dotson, I might take a chance as my wide receiver 4 as well. But that's kind of where I am at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's a tough question, but I think we won't really know that. Like for me, to be completely honest, it's not that I'm avoiding rookies. Zach's right. You know, it's all about ADP and where I can get them at a value. If Drake London's on the board, but a guy, you know, like a Jerry Jeudy or Rashad Bateman, I'm always taking the Rashad Bateman or Jerry Jeudy just because that's a redraft. You know, we kind of know the thought process of where they're going in their production in this offense, where we haven't seen that rookie on the field with their quarterback.
This was yesterday's or 2 days ago. This was the redraft mock that we did.
Yeah, it's just a bit like, for example, Treylon Burks went at the 5-6. Are you taking
too
Treylon
early
Burks
in redraft?
Or Cortland Sutton? Yeah, I'm taking Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Terry. I'm taking all those guys over someone like a Treylon Burks that we don't really know how he's going to be utilized. Expectation and hope he's going to be utilized like what AJ Brown was in this offense in the past. But I'm going with.
I'm still confident in Burks having a good year, but I'm not taking him over some of these other guys who are much more established. I mean, let's see, like Garrett Wilson, for example. Garrett Wilson or Bateman or Juju. I don't know what the answer is there. Elijah Moore goes ahead of Drake London. I feel like, well, they're back-to-back picks. That was from you. So yeah, it's a good conversation. Christian Kirk obviously going to go a lot higher in redraft than he is in Dynasty, and I think rightfully so with the amount of targets that he's going to see. Okay.
I think that's kind of answers it in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, someone just subscribed and we are now 23 subs away. Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate you, brother. 23 subs away from 2K, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? Every time you drop a like, helps us reach more people, helps the old algorithm.
Should we do something? Maybe the poll should be we both gritty.
No, we're gonna hit 2K. Gotta make people work for it.
I was thinking, like, I don't have the room enough now to agree. I'm gonna have to like turn my camera all the way around.
Yeah.
Like I'm like right against the wall. Anyways, what else we got here? Mitchell, so stoked for this. Thank you so much, man. Brian, I'm in a super flex league. My top quarterbacks are Matt Ryan and Mac Jones. Trading is limited in the offseason and rookie draft is tomorrow. I have the 101. What quarterback can I 101 with the 101? I guess trade for the 101. I'm assuming that's what you're kind of asking. So what would the 101 cost in a 101 trade to get another quarterback? I guess it really depends on how that other person views Brees Hall and what that other person has. You know, is somebody going to trade a Zach Wilson for the 101? Is someone going to trade a Tua? It maybe even hire Matthew Stafford for the 101. It just really depends on those guys. But for me, if I have the 101 and I'm really comfortable with my running back room, guys I'm looking to get are a Joe Burrow, a Lamar, a Kyler.
Like you mean Matthew in a rookie draft? No one's giving the 101 for those players though.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that like he's trying to do a 101 trade for the 101. So yeah, I'm saying I don't
understand what you're saying. 101 for the 101. I don't understand.
Read it. Said what QBs can I 1-1 with the 101? So how can he trade like a 101 trade?
A 101 trade for the 101. Okay.
It really depends. I said it really depends on how that person views Brees Hall and what their team construction needs. You know, do they want to give up a Zach Wilson, a Justin Fields, a Trey Lance, or do you want to go higher than that? Like for me, if I'm trying to target these high-end guys. Maybe I even throw in something, you know.
I would say just names that come to mind: Derek Carr, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers. I'm trying to think about players where they go around where Brees Hall is going. So, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Derek Carr, on occasion. Stafford, you might be able to swindle that. Those are names that come to mind.
Yeah. What's happening, Steven? Cole, talk it up. Ronnie, who's your most drafted player or target in every draft you each do?
I can already tell you who mine is.
I definitely have two in mind. You can go for it.
Mine would be Chris Olave in Dynasty startup drafts, and that's simply because I am just obsessed with his ADP. Really, really love Chris Olave. Let me see. Dynasty. Oh, that was a rookie draft that I clicked on right there. Let me see how old this one is. I don't know how old this one is, but where did Olave go here? Oh, 6'10" to me. Yeah, Olave is probably the one player I own the most stock of. If there's another player that comes to mind, it's probably T. Higgins and Travis Etienne, but that's just because of how much I invested in him, as well as Kyle Pitts last year. But yeah, I would say Olave is the name that instantly pops out to me. I think he has a great chance to step in and, be one of those guys who gets over 110 targets as a rookie. So yeah, he would be the one that stands out to me the most.
Yeah, I have a couple. I mean, in the quarterback, I definitely have a lot of Zach Wilson. Wide receivers, Sky Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Rashad Bateman are the three guys I tend to always have, and especially in our follower leagues, I have a lot of all those guys. But if it had to be a rookie, it's definitely Sky Moore, obviously. Guy that I feel like I've always drafted or always try to draft if he falls to me. Yeah.
Yep. Cole says Badake, Nico Collins, Zach Olave. True. Ronnie says LOL Cole might be right there. Elijah might be there on there too. That's true. Elijah Moore. Mitchell says I have Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, and Jimmy G in a Superflex league. I am a win now team, but not sure if I should hold pat with my quarterback room or try to get someone else. So you have Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, and Jimmy G. I would say if anyone's looking to sell Trevor Lawrence, now is definitely not the time. What he did in college, his profile, his talent, it's well worth holding on to. And then with Jimmy G, who knows if he starts this year? That's the problem. I think he's someone you should hold on to as well, because right now his trade value versus what he's worth, it's just not worth it. A name that comes to mind it's a riskier pick, but I've talked about it before on our channel, and it's Marcus Mariota. It's not going to cost you much at all right now to go get Marcus Mariota, and I think he's going to be a starter. He's going to be a fringe top 15 every week, and that just brings you a little bit more reliability, a little bit more options on a weekly basis. They've already talked about, calling up run plays for Marcus Mariota as well. Think about how bad the Falcons' offensive line was last year. And now you got to have someone who has a little bit of mobility, so maybe he can work around it a little bit. I would say, if you want to send like a late third or something, mid third for Marcus Mariota, that's something I would be willing to do personally, just to have another starting option.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what. Yeah, I like Mariota, I guess. Should hold pat with it. Yeah, I think maybe just hold, but. There's so many other people you can really go for. I'm seeing. I don't think you can definitely do that. And probably gives up some more. I was thinking like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, he's gonna cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah, exactly. He's just gonna cost too much. But I hear you. Cole and Bateman, right? Paul, what is Stephon Diggs worth in terms of picks and wide receiver players?
Cool. With these kind of questions, what I always tell people is, it's like going to Sonic and being like, how many different drink combinations are here? You know what I mean? It's a really hard question to answer because there's just so many different combinations that you could potentially come up with. I mean, you could give, high first round draft capital and really average wide receivers, or you could give, elite wide receivers and, a little bit of draft capital there. So that one's a harder one to question or to answer.
I also think it depends on what the other player, if you're trying to acquire Stephon Diggs, what the other player how the other
Wants
player
to.
views him. Yeah, and views Stephon Diggs. It's a bit tough.
I would say, in terms of picks, I'm assuming if you're selling him, you're not in a win now window, or you're not competing at the moment, and you're probably looking for future draft capital. I would say at minimum you should be looking for like a 23 first and a second, or a player that is within the realm of like a second round pick, a 2023 second round pick. So like a first and I don't know. Yeah, there's just so many combinations. Like a first and I want to say Christian Kirk, but I feel like you should get more. Like a first and like Jahan Dotson. A first in maybe Juju. But to be honest, some leagues are going to give you more than that as well. So always start a little higher, and then you can kind of counter
work your way
going from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Larry started Dynasty draft with Austin Eckler, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Mike Williams, and Travis Kelce. Thoughts so far? It sounds like a good
win now
team.
Squad.
Yeah, win now, absolutely. So it looks good. Sounds good. No worries, CB. Ronnie, where's Deshaun Watson's trade value at? What can I get for him at running back or picks wise, since I have Herbert, Lawrence, and Jimmy G?
It's tough, man. It's really tough.
Yeah, it is tough. There's a couple different values out there. I feel like
Did he say running back in particular he's looking at, or what is he looking at?
What can I get for running backs or picks wise?
Okay. Running back wise, I still think you can get a lot, especially if you're in a super flex league. So it depends. I mean, names that come to mind, if you're competing, obviously the Henrys, the Kamaras. If you're not competing, or even if you are, I mean, names like J.K. Dobbins come to mind, Saquon. You could probably get more than just these players as well. Joe Mixon, like, I'm trying to think if I'm in a league and I don't need Joe Mixon, but I'm weak at quarterback, I just have so much running back depth. That's a trade you could potentially look at. Any ideas, Badake?
So Joe Mixon. Yeah, it's tough because I don't know if I want to trade a youthful person to somebody that's in year 2 or even year 3. So yeah, I agree. Maybe, I see Saquon, I see Kamara, maybe a Cam Akers if you don't believe in the injury and him hurdling over that injury. Maybe people that are in that second year, like towards the end of their contract, that is kind of a question mark. So maybe a JJ. I'm thinking of. Those are the type of guys, Yeah, it really depends. James Conner, if you're in the win now position. Lenny, if you're in the win now position as well. Antonio Gibson, I think you can get more from that as well. So it doesn't look good for Deshaun right now. I know Zach and I both traded away Deshaun Watson in some of our leagues, and yeah, it's tough. We don't really know what to.
Yeah. I mean, we're not lawyers.
I don't know what to do.
We don't know what to do about it, but
I don't know what to do.
I would say I'll give I don't imagine that you could get this in every league, but I was able to get Justin Fields and a 24 first. So maybe if that's something that you can try, I've talked about this before on the channel, but a lot of people are devaluing 24 first round picks. So, maybe you can make a move like that where you go for a player that's young, unproven, that you believe in, as well as 24 draft capital rather than 23. For whatever reason, people don't know names. They don't have that kind of hype just yet. So the 24 class is a little bit easier to trade for, but it's still a very good class. A lot of great talents in that class, like we've talked about on this channel. Just catching up. What's up, Ronnie? Gator says, what is a player who switched teams, who lost value, and who is someone who gained value? Would say off the top of my head, Tyreek comes to mind, as well as Juju on the opposite side. Allen Robinson as well.
Those are guys that have gained. Tyreek, obviously, you're saying Tyreek lost.
I think so. I mean,
okay, I agree with that. I thought you were saying.
I think he's still gonna be good, but I mean, it's hard to say that he hasn't lost value. Going to Tua.
The one guy that came to my mind was Devontae Adams. I think
Okay.
it's right there in the middle, but I think he's on the low side right now. Really, really close on the low side.
I would say he lost, but not to the point where I'm worried about him. But I can agree to the extent that he definitely lost a little bit of value going to Derek Carr. Joshua Fultz says, what do you think about tearing down Eckler for Ken Walker in a first? I mean, I'm obsessed with that idea. Love it, especially if you're not competing right now. I really think Ken Walker could have.
He's a contender. Actually,
He is a
the one
contender.
below.
Well, that's a
Sorry.
little bit harder because
I don't know if I want to trade Eckler, but at
Look.
the same time, you get a first. That's kind of nice.
Ken Walker's upside this year is probably 10 to 12 points a game, and that's if we're lucky. Really, I think he's going to be a year 2 guy. But that team is going to run the ball so much. Here's what I'll say. Only you will know if your depth is strong enough to make that move. It is a very smart long-term move, but you will only know if you have the depth to still make a championship run if you make that move. And if you don't, then maybe you can't make that move, especially if you've gone all in, if you've made trades where you don't have future first, you don't have, this kind of capital to play around with, and you've gone completely all in, you might be messing up your own process by doing something like that.
Yeah, I hear you. It's tough. I think it's tough. Where we're at, drink my cola based on what they got going. Based on where they got in startups, they go in startups. Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. That was in response to the other question.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree.
Gator J says, just seen a trade happen to Deshaun Watson for Najee Harris straight up. I would say at this point right now, with the information that we have, and startup draft boards are going to change a lot. So this was before the 24th allegation news came up. Where's the draft that we did?
Should be the most recent one.
I don't see it for some reason.
It's complete, and then
this one is from 3 days ago. I don't see it. I don't know where it is.
Let me have a look. Let me have a look to see.
Did I not change the title?
You must have paused it, and
I didn't change the title. Here it is.
Oh, okay.
So this was yesterday's startup draft, and everyone has the knowledge right now of Deshaun Watson. He went at the 212. You can see Najee went at the 2.6, and I'm in a place right now. I'm honest. If I'm being honest, I don't think Deshaun Watson plays this year, and this to me sounds like something that could go on for more than even just a year. So, yeah, if someone sent me Najee Harris for Deshaun Watson, I would take it straight up. I definitely would. I would take the Najee side. Do you have any thoughts there?
No, I would definitely take the Najee side. Honestly, right now, the way I see it is either if you're happy with the value that you can get, I would make a trade. And if you don't like the value, you just got to hold. And that's really the best option. Like if you're, for example, I just traded, and maybe some people think this is bad, but I just traded Deshaun for a 2023 first. Zach just got him for Justin Fields and a first. I'm truly happy with that first, because even if he doesn't play, I think the talent that's going to be in the 23 first, whatever quarterback that is, that's another quarterback for another 10. At least the hope is another 8 to 10 years. So,
well, maybe.
Yeah,
we thought that there was like 5 quarterbacks in last year's class of 8 to 10 years, and it's pretty sketchy in it right now. But
it just really depends on where that first is and how you feel. So it's really hard to gauge, and I'm with Zach. Like I just don't see a pathway where he plays this year anymore, which before I did. The 23 allegations, I know that sounds crazy. It sounded like it was nothing. Now 66.
I think the bigger issue for the NFL is not so much that they even care, and this is going to sound really bad. I really don't think the NFL cares. I think what they care about is making money. But what they do care about is how their public image is perceived, because if their public image is perceived in a negative light, that could impact their revenue. So everything is going to be based around money, and at some point when public opinion is so strong that it could hurt your image, that's when they'll change. They don't care about doing the right thing. The NFL cares about making money. It's a business. And yeah, is it wrong? Is it right? Up to you to decide. But there is a point where the public has such a strong opinion that you as a business have to do things. We see businesses do this all the time nowadays.
Yeah, it's so
Tyler Moore says rebuilding team, 12-team Superflex. I'm assuming that's PPR.
Yeah.
Received 23 first, AJ Brown and Olave for Tyreek, Mike Evans, Mike Williams, and Isaiah Spiller. I like the trade for you. I really do.
I do. I like the trade as well.
Especially if you're rebuilding. I think it makes a lot of sense for you.
Steven was responding there.
Jerry says, would you take J-Mo or James Cook at the 107, even if you have a Monra? This is easily Jameson Williams for me.
Yeah, James. I agree. It has to be James.
I don't think James Cook is a first-round pick still in rookie drafts. I still stand by that. Mariota got picked up for $900 in waivers. Sheesh. Damn, I mean, what do you guys have, like $1,000 waivers? Is that what you guys are working with, Mitch? Monty says, trade K. Pickett, McLaurin, and a 24 first for Devonta Smith and Trey Lance. Okay, so Pickett, McLaurin, and a 24 first for Smith and Trey Lance. I would do that specifically for the Trey Lance side. That's how much I believe in Trey Lance. I don't know if Badake is going to agree here, though.
That's a tough one. Because the problem is I believe in Devonta Smith. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I actually might take Devonta Smith and Trey Lance because my question mark in this trade is Terry. As odd as it sounds, like what's gonna happen? Does he go to another team? Does he get re-signed? Is Carson Wentz really that good? What's gonna happen? Too many question marks. He's already 27 years old. Maybe I want
26. He'll be 27 soon.
Yeah, so I think I would want to go Devonta Smith and Trey Lance, as odd as this sounds, because I love Kenny Pickett, no doubt. He's my guy.
All right.
Fields, Justin.
Yep.
Yeah, Fields, Gwiatkowski. Justin Fields, Clyde, and a 23 third for Barkley and Fournette.
Justin Fields, Clyde, and a 23 third
for Barkley and Fournette.
Brady.
I mean, for Brady, excuse me, and Fournette. Are you a win now team? But I would definitely take Justin Fields. I think I would take Justin.
It really
Fields,
depends
Clyde,
on the strategy, to be honest. Because Brady feels like a strong retire after this year, especially after signing that deal with
it also feels very
Fox.
Yeah, that Brady and Fournette side feels like more of a win now strat. Like you're trying to win now, right now.
If I was trying to win now, I think I would be open to this, but I'm also really sacrificing the future. So yeah. Also, if I have Brady and Fournette and I'm a rebuilding team, the Justin Fields side is very, very intriguing to me, and I would take it. So I think it makes sense for both strategies. Yeah. Welcome, Mitch. Trevor says, my wide receivers are Jerry Jeudy and DJ Moore. I'm confident, but also nervous. I have 4 23 firsts. Should I connect one to upgrade, and who? No, you shouldn't. We both believe in Jerry Jeudy's ability to break out this year. DJ Moore, I think he will. I honestly think we're going to see a really similar season. A lot of targets, not great quarterback play, and he'll just be another year older next year. He still has that contract, so that's good.
I think you can probably do the opposite. I think you can get DJ Moore, and maybe you trade DJ Moore and downgrade, and maybe you get some draft capital, whatever that can look like for you. Like, I do agree, DJ Moore, you can see another year like what he did last year, but it's just gonna. I don't see another pathway for him to get even better. So if I'm a DJ Moore owner, I'm definitely trying to sell right now, but I definitely want Jerry Jeudy, no doubt.
Yeah, this is not a DJ Moore fan club on this channel.
No, it's actually tough.
I like DJ Moore. I just think he is slightly overvalued in the Dynasty community at this point. But I mean, there's no reason for him not to get the same amount of targets. So he's always going to be someone that can finish in the top 12. So that, I mean, I understand where the value is. But as stupid as it sounds, but when that number hits a 6 instead of a 5, people will freak out for the wrong reasons. But I think right now is a good time to trade him. Yeah, if you are rebuilding, I've seen a lot of people being able to get a 23 first for DJ Moore, and a lot of people saying There's no way I would give a 23 first for DJ Moore. So it's very much
so many trades have done. I mean, I think we've done trade videos when we're grading trades where they got DJ Moore in their first or something like that. And I think one of our latest trade videos, if I can't remember what it was actually. But yeah, I'm down to downgrade. Get DJ Moore and some picks. I don't know what that downgrade looks like. A Sky Moore, Elijah Moore, Hollywood Brown.
I don't think anyone's given you those players and a first, but
no,
it depends on the strategy. I would say
exactly.
If you are rebuilding, I would say go get a first for DJ Moore and keep Judy. James says DeAndre Hopkins, what is his Dynasty Superflex draft pick value in a trade? So this would have been our most recent. That was a PPR draft. This was our most recent startup draft. The title's wrong. Where did he go? He went at the 11-4.
This was the latest DeAndre Hopkins has gone in our mock drafts, and I think that's purely because our community knows us, and they know that we're not going to take DeAndre Hopkins anytime soon. And Zach said it already.
Yeah.
It's probably no point of really drafting DeAndre Hopkins. Is the 22 schedule up already on Sleeper, out of curiosity, with these players?
I was speaking in a redraft perspective. I still think there's value in Dynasty. But in redraft, I'm not really looking to draft DeAndre Hopkins at all. I don't want to use a bench spot on him. In redraft leagues, your bench spots are much smaller. So I don't really want to just have him taking up my bench for 7 weeks, including the bye, where I want to be able to have that freedom on the waiver wire and not feel like I'm strapped down to a guy because it's DeAndre Hopkins. So you just want to avoid that situation. In Dynasty, I said it yesterday on the stream, like if the goal is to win now, if you can get him in the 11th round, I think that's incredible value.
Right.
However, I do think the peak is quickly approaching. If not, it's already approached.
Yeah, for me, it's really tough to gauge. Like for me, I don't know if I want to just draft him at all. Maybe if I'm drafting him, hoping to get some sort of value, or if he does come back in that 8 game stretch or 7 game stretch after his suspension, and he's just going off, I'm probably going to sell him immediately. I mean, 30 years old already. I just don't. He's going to be 31. I'm assuming maybe by the end of this year or beginning of next year. It's tough. It's really tough to gauge. I think I just want to avoid DeAndre Hopkins as a whole, unless I know I'm going to trade him.
Yeah,
and that's in a dynasty perspective.
The hardest part with D-Hop is that he wasn't, like, at least the last 2 years, he hasn't really been. Yeah, specifically last year, he hasn't been targeted the way that he has in his career, so that's a little bit concerning. Anyway, I would say the 11th round is probably where I'm comfortable to start looking at him if I'm a win now team.
Where are we at here?
I'm just here so I don't get fined, Kyle says. Field says, win now for the Fields trade, and I have Kyler. Well, win now for the Fields trade. I would say if you win now, the Brady and Fournette side is probably the smarter side to go with if you win now.
I agree.
Kyle says, what were Brandon Cook's stats with Goff? If he can support Cooks being fantasy relevant, he can support Williams. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, think about how many relevant wide receivers Jared Goff has supported. Not only Brandon Cooks, but also Cooper Kupp and Bobby Trees. So, and also at times Higbee. So, no, Goff can definitely support relevant wide receivers in fantasy.
I think what's skewed about that Brandon Cooks was that 1 year, I think it was his second year with the Rams in 2019, where he got injured and everyone was drafting him like super high, and he missed half the season. It's like, damn, Brandon Cooks,
Yeah.
Because Jared Goff definitely made him, I think, a top 15 quarterback or top 15 wide receiver in 2017, like his first year with the Rams. So I think he can definitely do it for sure.
Sure. I mean, if we want to look at those stats in particular. So in LA here, this was his first year. He played every single game.
He was the, I'll tell you, he was the wide receiver.
This is 2018.
2018.
So 16 games, had 117 targets, 80 catches,
Wide
1,200
receiver.
yards, 5 touchdowns.
Wide receiver 13.
Okay, and the next year he only played.
Yeah, he missed
He
that
played.
time.
He missed 2 games. So anyway, Jared Goff's definitely produced fantasy relevant wide receivers for sure. Jimmy says, "Is Javonte Williams worth taking a shot at the 203 if I'm punting the first year?" I would say yeah, he's worth taking a shot on. Depends on who's on the board. You know, I'm definitely not opposed to taking Javonte at the 203. If Kyle Pitts is there, I'm probably more intrigued about that as far as the longevity with the tight end position. But Javonte Williams, you know, if I'm completely punting year one, I'm definitely not opposed. I think he's young enough to build your team around.
Agreed.
Gator says, where in redraft would you feel comfortable drafting Walker and Brees? I was actually looking at this last night because we're trying to put together our redraft rankings for you. And I'll say at the moment in redraft, I have Brees Hall as my running back 17. I think that's higher than most people will put him. Ken Walker, I'm much more hesitant on, my running back 30. So that's where I currently stand at this point. You know, I just think Brees is going to get so many opportunities within this offense. Definitely not a Najee workload, but it's going to be, you know, maybe 4 touches less per game than Najee got. And I think that's going to be, you know, enough touches to potentially finish top 15 year one. I think that's a very realistic possibility, and it should be considered when people are doing redraft leagues.
Yeah. I feel pretty confident taking him in the, you know, 4th round, middle of the 4th round, end of the 4th round, maybe 3rd round, late 3rd round, depending on how the board is falling. So I feel pretty confident. Yeah, see, 4-9 he went. So I think that feels really comfortable there, especially after, you know, the run of guys that went in that draft. Was it J.K. Dobbins, Josh Jacobs, you know?
Yeah.
All those guys. So yeah, I definitely feel really confident in taking him in that area.
All right. Drink My Cola says, I don't even care if Watson plays next year. I just don't want to be watching football and have to root for him. I feel you. Tyler says, thanks guys. We're getting grilled for it by my home league, but they are all redraft players. So I'm assuming that's the Trey Lance trade. Is that right? No, that's the rebuilding. Yeah, I can understand. So if people are redraft players, they're looking at Tyreek, Mike Williams, Mike Evans, and they're like, what are you doing? These guys are all top 12. Yeah, it makes sense why they would be upset about that. They probably don't even know who Chris Olave is.
Right.
We got leagues like that as well. Don't stress, brother. All right, where were we?
Yeah, I was literally just scrolled up to Gator fan. Wait, how do you guys feel about Claypool, either with Mitchell or Pickett, and Robert Woods with the Titans? I'm assuming that was the next question. I feel really confident with Claypool with either Mitch or Pickett, no matter what. I think we always said that Big Ben was dominating in those really short, intermediate throws to Deontay Johnson. He couldn't get the ball to Chase Claypool on the sides or down the field, and both of these guys can definitely throw the ball a lot deeper than what Big Ben has done in the past couple years.
Yeah.
So I feel really confident in that. And Robert Woods with the Titans, man, this is very interesting, and I don't really know how to feel because I have mixed emotions about Robert Woods. Like, one, is he going to be ready for the season?
He will be.
Two, does someone like Ryan Tannehill lean on a Robert Woods who's a vet, or go straight to his 1st round wide receiver? And the expectation is that he should go to his 1st round wide receiver, but I don't know.
They're both really very necessary to the offense. You know, you think about the options in that offense right now. Really, Robert Woods and Burks are the only guys. So I don't think it necessarily has to be an either or. I think they both can thrive there.
Right.
I think Robert Woods currently, his redraft ADP is very, very intriguing to me at the 8.4. So yeah, I'm not so certain about Claypool though, just because I think Pickens, people won't like me saying it, but I think Pickens is more talented than Chase Claypool was out of college. I know that the production won't show it because of the injury, but so we'll see what happens in the NFL. I don't question that Claypool's a great talent. I just don't know what this means now with Pickens coming into this offense. Next question is from Paul. Full PPR Superflex. Would you trade Rojo for Trubisky? Win now team running backs are Kamara. This is hard because I don't know if you're even going to get one game where you can start Trubisky. Maybe. I mean, I have him in some leagues in hopes that he is a starter. But would it make sense for the team to start Trubisky? I guess. You know?
I guess why would you want to trade Rojo for Trubisky if you have... Well, I guess you have Deshaun Watson, Hurts, and Tannehill. I think I'm still comfortable with Tannehill and Hurts.
Yeah. I would say if you can move
position.
Rojo for... I feel more confident about a guy like Marcus Mariota, like I've talked about. You know, it looks like if you're making that move, you're potentially trying to win now. So if you can send Rojo for Mariota, I feel much more comfortable doing that because I think he's going to have a better chance to start this year. Bradley says Tom Brady and Jonathan Taylor or Russell Wilson, Tyreek, and Cole Kmet. 12-team Superflex, 1.5 tight end premium. Sheesh.
I would have
That's
to.
a weird trade.
It is a weird trade. What the intriguing thing about this is that you can flip Jonathan Taylor for a lot more.
I think you can, yeah.
I think
though, if you're moving Jonathan Taylor, I don't think I really want to have this be the move that I make with the Jonathan Taylor moves that I've seen, where people are getting like people's entire futures or super elite young guys. I don't think I want to make this move if I'm moving Jonathan Taylor.
If I had to, I actually like the upside though of these other guys. Like we were talking about Cole Kmet as being a breakout, especially in the 1.5 PPR, you know, and all those targets he was getting. I see a tremendous jump in targets. Tyreek Hill, I think that is somebody else. Maybe you can see if you can swap Tyreek. I don't know what this other team has. Does he have somebody even higher than Tyreek, or
I just don't want to invest into Tyreek right now.
Yeah, you know,
in Dynasty specifically.
Can that Tyreek be like a T Higgins? Can that Tyreek be?
That would change everything for me.
Yeah, that would be really, really nice. That's the guy I can really think of to really. I feel like maybe CeeDee Lamb will be too much. Diggs will be too much potentially. I don't know. I doubt he has Tyreek and T Higgins, but if he does, that'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah. Tyreek is definitely the part of that trade that puts me down, because if I'm going to move what some people consider the most elite non-quarterback asset in Superflex, I want something that I can build around for a long time. Gator says, in a 2-quarterback redraft league, what is the minimum number of bench spots you would be comfortable with having? 8. 8 would be minimum. Yep. Isaiah, what should I do with Michael Thomas in Dynasty?
Oh,
brother. We've been encouraging people to sell Michael Thomas for about 2 years. Unfortunately, at this point, I don't know that there's enough value to move him.
Agreed. I think there's 2 options. Somebody's out there that's a Michael Thomas believer, and you can get some crazy value, or you can wait until the season until people are more comfortable with Michael Thomas and then sell him high then. But then maybe that will question you to say, damn, should I even sell Michael Thomas? But let's not forget, what is he, 29, 30 years old?
Yeah.
I think they'll move forward with Michael Thomas in the next coming years, maybe this year or next year.
Without or with?
Like without.
Okay. I tend to agree. I would say if you can get a first-round pick at all, it's probably not going to happen. But if you can get a first-round pick from literally anyone, I would do that in a heartbeat. And honestly, it doesn't matter what year it is. Doesn't matter if it's 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Give me a 2030 first-round pick. But outside of that, maybe if I can get like a second-round pick and trying to think of like a player, like give me a 23-second and Jalen Tolbert. Give me a 23-second and Alec Pierce. Those are the kind of moves I would potentially be looking at. Running back, give me a 23-second and Brian Robinson. So a lot of people won't like that, but We just don't want Michael Thomas. Drake Michaela says, we do not need to fight over Deontay. My thoughts are not going to change there. Drake Michaela says, Claypool moving into the slot is super interesting. Yeah, that could be very interesting for Claypool's game.
Yeah.
Would love to see that. Don Juan says 12-team Superflex, Stafford, I assume, and Saquon for Darnold and Justin Jefferson. I think that's a team-dependent question, isn't it?
It is. I mean,
what do you think?
First of all, it's crazy that I think you can essentially get Justin Jefferson here for this price. This is, I feel like, really, really low, in my opinion.
Agreed.
I'm interested if you can swap Darnold for someone else. And I know you're probably just trying to upgrade that wide receiver and then downgrade in your quarterback because you had Matthew Stafford and Sam Darnold. Is there anyone else that he has? You know, does he have a Davis Mills? Does he have a?
It's gonna be hard to.
Yeah, it's tough.
Quarterbacks he would have. I would say Davis Mills, Winston, even I would rather have Danny Dimes, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff.
To acquire Justin Jefferson just for that, I think that is really, really great. As much as I love Matthew Stafford and Saquon, you know, Saquon's my guy, but Justin Jefferson is going to be here for a very, very long time.
I would say, look, at the end of the day, if you can't change Sam Darnold, I'm still taking this trade. But let me give you a list of names I would rather have than Sam Darnold. Davis Mills, Jameis Winston, Daniel Jones, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, any of the rookies this year, Ryan Tannehill, Marcus Mariota, Mitch Trubisky, Jimmy G, Baker, Drew Lock. That's where that's where it ends for me.
That's where it ends. And then Sam Darnold.
And then Sam Darnold.
Jerry, does Elijah Mitchell and James Cook equal Etienne? Ooh. I think me personally, I would definitely still keep Elijah Mitchell and James Cook. Oof. I don't know what Dak would do. Absolutely
no way in hell I am taking the Elijah Mitchell, James Cook side.
Okay.
Etienne by a mile for me.
Gator fan, how do I try to convince my commissioner to go from 2 QB to Superflex? Honestly, it's just a conversation. You just got to ask the question. It's not really. It's kind of tough if they don't
strategy behind it. You just got to ask.
You just got to have a conversation. Tell him to look at some other stuff. I don't know. That's really, really, really tough, man.
It's hard. You could potentially do a league. You could do a mock league with him, so you can see how fun it is. Maybe, I don't know. So, what's the next question from Alex here?
Sorry. Yeah, traded Akers, Hill, a 23 first for Chase. What are we thinking? I don't mind it. I'm somebody that's okay to move Tyreek Hill. As much as I believe in Cam Akers, I would rather get Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I would take Chase.
Yeah, the 23 first is very valuable. But yeah, I love Jamar Chase. Drink my cola. I saw a deal that was Michael Thomas and a 24 second for a 23 first. Felt fair to me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree.
Mitchell, my biggest trade this offseason was Tyreek Hill and Irv Smith for 23 first and a 23 second and the 201 in a 2022, which turned into Jahan Dotson. Do you think that's value I got back?
I think you got incredible value.
Good. Yeah, I think that is great.
Incredible value.
And then Paul traded Etienne for Hunt and a 23 first full PPR Dynasty.
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much I believe in Etienne. I'm definitely down with it. I don't know if you are, but
I don't mind. Yeah, I'll definitely trade it. I would definitely do that trade for sure. That 23 first is always so hard, but hey, Etienne. As much as I always say I'm not a believer, it's not that I'm not a believer in Travis Etienne. I'm not a believer in this Jags organization, which is really hard for me to really build with that organization. But I love the player himself.
Yeah.
And I love his talent. He's extremely talented. So I'm really, really hoping that this organization can prove me wrong.
Sure. I get it.
That's it.
Is that all the questions?
That is all the questions.
That might
Shout out to everyone that was here. 49 likes over here. Everyone dipped already. 19 people watching. I think we're doing a PPR mock draft on our other channel right after this.
Bradley says thoughts on making the JT deal. I think we already discussed that, didn't we? Yeah, we spent about 5-10 minutes discussing that earlier. I would say our general thoughts were that you could get more for Jonathan Taylor. Or if we're moving Jonathan Taylor, we would want more cornerstone pieces in that deal.
Yeah, we said we didn't like the Tyreek Hill piece. Personally, that we would rather if he had someone like a T Higgins. If you can swap Tyreek for a T Higgins or someone even just higher with value, I doubt they will trade a CeeDee Lamb, a Diggs. But we're not looking to trade for Tyreek Hill at this moment. So to be clear, I prefer Etienne over.
I do. I don't know about Badake, but I do.
I think it's tough, but I would like to have that 23 first, but I wouldn't do that trade at all personally. If I have Travis Etienne, I wouldn't want Kareem Hunt in the 23 first. You're just trading the 23 first for that. Like Kareem Hunt is a throw-in, so if I have Travis Etienne, I'm truly just holding.
Yeah.
But the 23 first is intriguing to me. I just still want more than Kareem Hunt, and I don't know what more you can get. So probably just best to hold.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
10 minutes. All love, guys.
I think that's it. Are we doing a redraft mock?
I think so. Was that the plan?
Yeah.
Pretty sure
I think that was the plan.
I think it depends. I don't know what people are doing.
What time is it?
It's technically 9. I'm assuming 9:16 Eastern Standard Time.
9:15ish. Yeah.
I don't know if we want to continue that or we just start next week with a redraft.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and start next week. We'll leave about 15 more minutes to do this stream. We'll start next week on the redraft. Two redrafts a week. Don Juan says, due to Watson situations, what's your minimum trade value for Brissett?
Doesn't step foot on the field for the Browns.
The thing is,
I'm the opposite, but you can answer the question. Give your view.
I agree to the extent that there is in my mind there is like about a 3% chance that I think Baker Mayfield will come back to the Browns. Right. So I don't think that it's going to happen. As far as trading for Jacoby, I don't think I would even give up a 23 fourth round pick.
Yeah,
you know, like fair. It's just there's no way he's a starter in his career ever. Like he's never a franchise guy again.
I think I completely agree. Even if let's just say hypothetically Baker Mayfield doesn't come back, Jacoby Brissett could lose his job to whatever other quarterback they're going to bring in.
Sure.
4 or 5 weeks in, Jacoby, the Browns are 0-5. You know what? Who was it? Case Keenum? That was the backup.
Well, they're a good team, so probably won't be 0-5, but I get it.
I mean, I can see that happening, I can see, let me look at the Browns depth chart.
Yeah, I just don't think I want to trade anything for him.
Yeah, but according for the Baker Mayfield thought process, I'm actually the opposite, and I do believe that Baker Mayfield, if Deshaun Watson is truly suspended for this whole year, I think the Browns and Baker will have a conversation, and Baker is going to want to rekindle, or the Browns are going to want to rekindle this relationship.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it kind of going down. I think every single day the Browns would rather have Baker Mayfield over Jacoby, 100%.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think they will be willing to bite their tongue and say, you know what, I'm sorry, let's come back to me.
Yeah.
That.
We'll see. It's possible. Baker's, unless he's changed as a person, I don't think it's going to happen. He's not necessarily one to mend bridges in his career. Dak says, I traded Saquon Tooney for Wentz because the Commanders scored in the Super Bowl. Stop hyping me up. What do you see as the ceiling for Connor? Top 12. Top 12 this year would be his ceiling.
Agreed.
Hector says traded Lance for Hurts, 23 first. Then I traded DK plus 23 fourth for AJ Brown.
Wasn't a Philly fan, but I am now.
I have to be honest. I don't like the moves. I think Badake will like them. I don't like them though, personally.
I'm a Jalen Hurts believer. But if you got Hurts and a 23 first for Trey Lance, I think that's still okay in my opinion. I get why Zach wouldn't want to trade Trey Lance because, you know, he's a talented quarterback with a high rushing upside, high ceiling. But I'm happy with the DK trade. I like the DK trade away DK in the 23 fourth for AJ Brown. I believe in AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts and this Eagles team, in my personal opinion. So I really, really like this trade. Even if Jalen Hurts doesn't work out, you got a 23 first. And I think that's okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Dak says Jacoby Brissett will never lose his job. He plays for Dak in the golf league. You know things, Dak?
I guess.
Right, put the people on. Put the people on.
Look,
Bradley.
by the way, their fourth quarterback is Joshua Dobbs. Deshaun Watson, technically Baker Mayfield's still on this roster.
Yeah, well,
Jacoby
they paid
Brissett.
his option.
Sorry. What were you saying? Bradley, thanks for the input. Who's your favorite current player? I still have to say Elijah Moore. I really love Elijah Moore. I believe in the guy. He was my favorite player last year. I'm believing for big things for the guy. I think he's a great person. From everything that I've saw and read, I'm talking about him like I know him, you know. But I just really, really like Elijah Moore.
It's a good question. I have so many favorites. I'll answer in this order. First, from this class this year, that would be Jameson Williams for me. As far as the talent, he's my favorite talent. In all of Dynasty, it would be really tough for me to choose between Travis Etienne and Kyle Pitts. But I think I would lean Kyle Pitts. And then I'll give you a vet as well. My favorite vet. I don't know, actually. That's a dumb thing for me to say.
The favorite vet? What is it, like Tom Brady, Carson Wentz, Terry? I guess they're vets. I'm trying to think of Commanders teams. I don't know why I said all those Commanders people.
I'll say my favorite Commander player is probably Terry.
Currently on the roster?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Terry would be my favorite player on that roster. And if we don't re-sign him, it's just another example of ineptitude from this shithole we call a franchise in Washington.
This is fat GG's for Washington, isn't it?
But yeah, we have about 5 more minutes, guys. If you guys have any more questions, and then we're going to end the stream for today. We currently are 22 subscribers away from 2,000.
What's everyone doing for the rest of the weekend? Technically it's Thursday over there. Currently Friday here.
Drink My Cola says, how do you guys go about watching football with a huge time difference? Let me tell you what.
Oh my goodness.
It's
hard work and dedication. That's what it is.
It really is. It's a challenge. So your Sunday games that start around noon Eastern Standard Time, right? The first slate of games, 1 p.m. or whatever it is. Those games start at 3 a.m. for us. So I don't know. I don't think Badake does it. I think he preps a little bit differently. I think he just stays up. For me, if I just stay up throughout the night, I won't be able to stay awake. So I normally go to bed around 10. That way I get at least 5 hours of sleep, wake up at 3, and then I cannot lay down. Like if I'm on my bed laying down or if I'm like on a couch, it's over. So I go to my desk and I make sure that I'm sitting up straight and I'm watching the games. And then I have Red Zone,
not do that.
Washington, another game. So really overstimulation is how I get through.
Honestly, the first couple weeks, I feel like the weeks 1 to 6 are really hype and excitement. Because like, we're pushing out content, we are watching the games, you're still believing in your fantasy player, you're still believing in your team to come alive. And then once it gets to that middle part of the season where like your team is done, whether that's in fantasy or your actual team that you go for, then it gets really, really hard. But I wake up 3 o'clock. I'll go to sleep maybe 11 o'clock. I'll sleep for a couple hours, wake up, watch the games, and I'll stay up the whole time. And then what I try to do in between the end game, like the games at the end, like the second half of the games, I would probably fall asleep around like the fourth quarter and then wake up 15 minutes or 20 minutes before we have to go live, because what we used to do last year is like we used to go live for the Sunday night games, and then I would re-watch the end of those games, like that fourth quarter of the games that I missed, just in case if there was anything big. Because unless it was like a really, really big game, but like for example, like the game, like the America game of the week were usually the big games, and by the time that game ended, those second games that started at like 4:25 we're going into the fourth quarter.
I just can't watch later. That's the issue for me. Like I have to watch it live. Well,
I definitely try to watch as many games if I can live, but if I do fall asleep in that fourth quarter, I'm okay with it, because I either know the team is, unless my team is playing, unless like the Giants are playing, I'm up, I'm awake. So
Jake says, what wide receiver do you think will be the next Cooper Kupp? Later round pick turned number 1. Oddly enough, I think it might be on his own team, if I can say that, and that would be, well, actually turned wide receiver 1. That's a little bit harder.
Be next Cooper Kupp late round pick turned.
I mean, that's such a rare occurrence. Everything was such a perfect harmony. And Matthew Stafford. Dak, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. He says, get some Aussie talk about to celebrate Zeke making the stream and the Cowboys winning the NFC East. Look, I will not even speak that into existence. The Cowboys win the NFC East. I actually think the Eagles might win the NFC East, if I'm honest.
Let me ask, I'm actually interested. As a I feel like all NFC East teams outside of the Cowboys, we all come together and say we hate the Cowboys. But as Cowboys fans, when you come together, what team do you really hate in the NFC East?
Or in general, is there a team in general that you hate? But I think everyone in the NFC East can rally around, we hate the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's so weird. Never thought of that perspective.
But Dak, thank you so much for the super chat, bro. I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. We'll definitely treat ourselves to some Taco Bell for you. To answer Jake's question, I don't think that there's a wide receiver this year that I could point to and say that they will be like the wide receiver 1, like what happened with Cooper Kupp last year. I think, as crazy as it sounds, like Mike Evans might be in that category, but I would say guys who are being drafted way later that I think can finish as a wide receiver 1, Allen Robinson would be at the top of that list, along with Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy.
I definitely agree on that.
Maybe Juju.
I think those are the only 3 I can truly I really agree on. Robinson, Jeudy, Sutton. We've seen, and I've said this before, we've seen Russell Wilson produce, 2 top 10 wide receivers. Can he produce that 1 wide receiver? I don't think he's ever done that, actually. But hey, a better team, a better offense. Maybe he can do it this year.
Next question we had was from
it says
Ronnie.
Bateman's going to outscore Hollywood this year. Interesting.
There's a question
mark.
I would say I would bet on Hollywood this year, but I don't think it's insane to say that Bateman could outscore Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, I believe in Bateman. I would take Bateman.
Yeah.
I think he's the only true target, well, outside of Mark Andrews, but the only true wide receiver on that team.
It's pretty close. I mean, I'm looking at my redraft rankings right now. I have Hollywood 23. I have Brandon Cooks 24, and I have Rashad Bateman 25. And at some point, I might move Bateman above Cooks, but right now I'm still going Hollywood. It's very close, though. I think both are really good values in redraft leagues as well.
Jameson Williams unlikely to be ready for training camp.
Is that news?
I mean, well, I just got.
Was anyone expecting him to be ready for training camp?
I don't know. Well, he was saying
that to me is someone tweeting out saying, "Hey, you know that news that we all knew about 4 months ago? It's still the same news."
Yeah, maybe.
Drusive says Red Zone was the greatest invention ever. I agree. Appreciate.
Well, you guys don't have that over there, right?
Yes, they do. Of course they do. Red Zone is I don't know who carries it, but it used to be Direct TV.
But there was something that we couldn't watch all the games, like all games in America. Remember that?
Red Zone is still available. You just can't get it on NFL Game Pass.
Right.
It's just available through different channels.
Okay. Been a long time.
Yeah. Hector, appreciate the love, brother. What's up, Daniel? Jim Michaela says, yeah, that's brutal. At least you get primetime games at a normal time. I lived in Ireland for a little and got to watch the day games, but not night games. I feel you, bro.
Right.
It's hard living around the world. Dak says, hate the Eagles first, the Giants second, and the Commanders third because they aren't a threat. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend like that upsets me because it's just true. Everyone hates my Pats because we're better than you, Drew says.
With the Belichick me, that's funny. The Cowboys fans I know hate the Eagles the most. Right. I wonder why, though.
I don't know.
I would assume the Giants would be hated because technically the Eagles are the most recent team to win a Super Bowl in the NFC East.
Yeah.
But maybe the Giants, like with Eli, was always annoying, but you guys always beat us. That was a problem. Anyways.
Yeah, well, that was like, what, the Romo era, wasn't it?
Yeah, when Romo was there, you guys were always beating us, or like it was always split. And we have like a couple rare seasons where like you guys swept us or we swept you guys. You know, like it was always back and forth, I felt like, but
yeah.
It was very interesting.
Jaden Thompson says, what is good return for Nick Chubb in Dynasty? It's a good question. I would say this. Chubb is someone like you guys have heard my thoughts on the whole Deshaun Watson situation.
Yeah.
And if Deshaun Watson is not the quarterback, we have the same issues with Nick Chubb. The offense isn't going to be what we thought it was going to be. So I think it's actually a really good time to sell him because maybe people aren't making that connection point. I mean, can you go flip Nick Chubb for Saquon? I would do that in a heartbeat. Can you go flip Nick Chubb for Dalvin, Austin Eckler, Travis Etienne? Can you flip him for a 23 first? I would do that. Can you flip him for Antonio Gibson in a second? AJ Dillon in a second. You know, these are the kind of moves I would be looking at this point. Josh Jacobs in a second. That's the kind of moves I would be looking to make if I had Nick Chubb at this point, especially if you're playing PPR formats.
Yeah,
I really thought we were going to see like a Joe Burrow type transformation when Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase linked up. That was incredible for Joe Mixon. I thought Deshaun Watson was going to be incredible for Nick Chubb, but
yeah, I agree. Honestly, I would just be happy with the 23 first. To be completely honest with you.
Yeah, sure.
I think, I don't have any stock of Nick Chubb. But if I had him in Dynasty, I'm definitely trading him for a first. Dak said we do have Red Zone. Drink my cola. I think it's called Philly fan. Yeah, but you said that. I think it's because Philly fans are the worst.
That is true. Philly fans are.
They are.
I would say they're second worst outside of the Cowboys. Cowboys fans are always just like, it's our year. It's our year.
Yeah, every single. I think that's what's annoying for the NFC East. For every other team, it's our year, man. We're so good. We have a talented team. Jerry always does the right thing. And then Jason Garrett, we believe in him, but we also hate him.
Well, keep in mind the Cowboys fans have a mural of Jerry Jones around their fireplace, and they worship it every night. So
and then
don't forget that.
They worship it every night, and you guys spend so much money. I mean, I bet you that Cowboy Stadium is beautiful. I would love to go there.
Family dinners, they don't say "Dear God," they say "Dear Jerry."
Dear
Bless his food.
Dear Jerry.
B Salzberg says 12-team Superflex 4-point touchdown Dynasty currently rocking with Stafford, Carr, and Tannehill. Should I try to trade up for a young elite top 6 quarterback? Stafford, Carr, Tannehill. I feel pretty comfortable with that room. I don't think I feel a huge urge to make any huge moves at this point. I don't know what you think.
I don't feel a huge.
I still feel like Stafford and Carr give me like 3 to 5 competing years.
I think so as well. I think if there's anything, why don't you package Carr and Tannehill and then get, a better quarterback, why don't you?
I have to think if anyone would take that side though. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
Like, is anyone going to look at Carr and Tannehill and be like, ooh?
People are going to look at Carr and be like, hey, bro, I'll give you Tannehill as well. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Carr you can probably get not much of a difference to get some of these guys. These are more lateral moves, like a Kirk Cousins feel like a lateral move. I think
I'd rather have Carr right now though.
Yeah, I don't think anyone is going to want to trade a Lamar or Dak Prescott for a Carr, Tannehill, or even if you throw some picks and maybe get a lower end person in that. But yeah, I'm also really happy to stick with that. Maybe why don't you try and sell Tannehill by himself? Once again, that's not intriguing.
No one's going to take him though.
See what you can get from him. That's my thought process.
If you are moving Carr, maybe Justin Fields is the name that comes to mind. A lot of people don't believe in Justin Fields. Just purely the talent, I would take a chance on that. Unless, of course, you're competing this year and you need reliability. So.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I stand there.
I'm a Cowboys fan. The Eagles are the rivals since Commanders and Giants aren't good. Right. That's funny.
True. It's not. Look, you're not wrong. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like you're wrong.
Dear Jerry, thanks for this algorithm leading all the Cowboys fans to the stream. My goodness.
Hey, I mean, we welcome Cowboys fans, but we're not going to stop talking shit on them as well. I love it. Ronnie says, sorry, Zach, about your Commanders. Let's hope Wentz plays out of his mind. I'm actually kind of annoyed at our team for a bunch of different reasons, and every day there's another reason. But I feel like this is like a really great year to be terrible. And we just decided to pretty much go all in when you look at our moves. We went and got Carson Wentz. Our defense got better. Our offense got better. Added Jahan Dotson. I feel like we're going to be another 8 to 9 win team and just middle of the road. And Carson Wentz is going to play okay at times. He's going to play bad at times. But we're going to put ourselves out of the conversation for a quarterback next year. So it's just like every time we do something stupid.
Are you though?
Every time that our management thinks that we're doing something smart, it's actually really stupid for our team. But that's just the reality of being a Washington fan.
Yeah, I was saying, are you maybe 8? You said what, 9 and 8, 8 and 9?
Yeah.
If that can be top 15, I think you can definitely swindle your way up to the top 10 and get a quarterback.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, probably won't be the guy that you truly want. Obviously, everyone wants CJ or Bryce, but I don't know. Well, we haven't talked about the quarterbacks, but I think there's a couple quarterbacks I think you would like that you'd probably like on your team.
Dak, the whole defense just underplayed. No one played to their potential. I think part of it had to do with coaching and scheme, and part of it had to do with players just didn't have desire as much as they did. They talk shit, but they didn't back it up.
Chase could be good. Chase got hurt as well, though. There was a lot of expectations.
Even before Chase got hurt, it was one of the worst defenses in the NFL.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. What the heck happened to Washington? Oh, well, you say went from scary to crap. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I think that's it for today. Huge love. Thanks for hanging out.
As always.
Spent about an hour and 40 minutes here just answering questions. I hope that it was enjoyable. We don't do this very often, so I hope you guys had fun today, or hopefully it was helpful. I don't know.
Yeah. It's all love as always, man. Thank you guys so much. I think is Juliet filled?
Juliet is filled. We will send out some
Juliet
information
League
here
is
soon.
filled, which is really awesome, guys. So shout out to everyone if you guys are here that signed up for the Juliet League.
Yes.
And maybe you guys aren't, or you watching this later. Let me pull up this list, everyone. The Juliet League. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, you said Justin, Derek, Jay Steele, Joshua, Jordan, Kevin, Mitchell, Dave, Al, Reels, and then Bailey signing up for our Juliet League, and that's really exciting. And we'll send you, like Zach said, we'll be sending you guys out some information here soon, and we'll get this thing popping. You guys look tired. Get some rest, yeah, bro.
Yeah, I'm tired.
We were actually grinding. We was actually grinding on Call of Duty last night, son. Getting them dubs.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll start the gaming channel back up.
Yeah, we had a dream.
We had a gaming channel at one point, and we were streaming our content.
It's just really hard because like we need to stream both of our content in one sitting.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible unless we're in the same room together.
Yeah.
Could be wrong though.
Wonder if I can find the channel.
It was so bad.
What the channel is.
Fantasyland Gaming.
Yeah, I can't find it. Oh,
Yeah.
here it is. There's no videos on it. Anyway.
All love, but yeah, thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate you. And we got some cool content coming out next week, so definitely look forward to that. We're really excited about that. Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. We got videos coming out every day this weekend, so don't stress. Dynasty videos every day this weekend. And I think it's some pretty damn good content, so I hope you enjoy it as well. And we'll see you guys on live streams next week. Peace.
Deuce, deuce, and a bubble goose.